Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a significant message was recently by a slit. The team supporters are happy with the Quinten decision to keep him on the bench during the playoffs despite his remarkable performance in a recent loss. B is a really ability to help against the opponents in the absence of one of the keyers. In this video we will analyze the only positive moment observed in a game that was otherwise challenging and discuss the impact as honest a series pregreses to start considering subscribing the fast difficulties on offense suffering a significant score of 117 to 93 from the outset. The struggle to find RM on the court going 5 minutes without scoring in the early moments and the accumulating a deficit of 130 points. However, there was an important positive attack from this game. Let's focus on the favorable aspects, and for the first team, these players stood out even after months of criticism and negativity. Redemptive game that many paintings for scoring 18 points in 26 minutes with 8 successful shots out of 11 attempts. Rianati with several impressive plus. One example of this was a dunk on the bus line that excited everyone. Additionally, we cannot forget the reverse of his opponent, which helps the start comeback narrow in the gap to his points. At one point in the second period, he was down by 23, but the player was crucial in the quick recovery. Deficit driven by a notable performance in the period. When we look at some of his statistics from that stretch, he scored 8 points, recorded 3 rebounds with 3 out of 4 field goals including 1 successful 3-point attempt during the period. The man reduced the deficit to 7 points largely due to his performance especially in the tier period. Revisiting his statistics during this interval, he recorded 8 points, recorded 3 rebounds, made 3 out of 4 shots, and converted a 3-pointer lose the tier period. Looking at his chart, it was clear that the man to drive into the painted area, which has been rare for other players on the throughout many fought with the 3-point line falling to make effective tribes. However, this found a way to score efficiently in the paint and even long-range shot. Several aspects of his performance stood out that night. One of the key differences was his confidence. For the first team since returning from an injury, a locked secure on the court established man demonstrated effective scoring, making his first 6 shots. His shooting seems to have improved, it smoother now, aligning his body better and giving more arc to his attempts while attacking his team. Also showcased his skills with tanks, drives and cats. It was encouraging to see corner pointer, as it energized the critical moment, the primary driving to the basket using his athleticism to draw foe, and attack the even struggled with free throws. Let me review his stats again, as yes, used 1 out of 4 free throws, but it was constantly driving to the paint. Have been a harsh critic of this pleasure for a while, but it's important to recognize his contributions when they are deserved. The question that's however is, can this translate into victories? The coach has stated that the player struggles to find chemistry with other players on the court, but they have been forced to play together. While this has not yet resulted in wins, this performance serves as a positive indicator. The slight as reg of the confidence needed, which is crucial for the future. However, it seems that the fans are optimistic about what it appears that the dynamic between and his is still not ideal, yet they ended up coming together in the same game. While the results have not turned into victories at this point, this called serve as motivation. Finally, Kuminga saw the sign of confidence which is essential right now. However, it's understandable that fans are frustrated with the Quinten's decision to keep him on the bench for so long while searching for a player who could contribute points. One might question whether Step would be dealing with injury concerns of fatigue. Ifinga, had been integrated into the rotation earlier. Hard to say, but it's reasonable to consider that the provided some relief, especially in moments when it was of the court, in case the coach's choice to him of the latter was justified, as Jonathan did not show encouraging performances in the series against the Rockets. During his appearances the results were unsatisfactory, largely a lack of confidence. Have reasons to feel that way. Undoubtedly the Quat's decision to keep him on the bench alongside constant media criticism has had a significant impact. The situation tonight is interesting because we need more contributions, especially considering the performance of the starters. Inapte in steps absence. Quinten Post was almost invisible, regressing during the playoffs alongside Moody Andy, who also to contribute meaningful points. However, we have the hero of Game S and the first matchup against Minnesota again, so with an inconsistent shooting performance, making 5 out of 14 shots, but still the reasonable 3-point shooting percentage. 4 out of 9 attempts. Butler scored 17 points and grabbed 7 rebounds with a shooting performance of 6 out of 7 attempts. However, he has faced criticism for not being aggressive in staff's absence, hesitant to score, often choosing to pass the Volo-OD, showing a strong connection as a trieste to help Moody get into the game. Is a significant amount of criticism directed at him, as shown the level of aggressiveness needed with step out of action about scoring, and often passes the volley. It's evident that there is a solid connection between the two to help Mood find his rhythm. However, Mood has not been able to respond. The bench, which was a highlight in the previous game, focus especially Jonathan Kuminga, Tr. Jackson Davis. In 19 minutes, Kuminga scored 15 points, showing remarkable efficiency with 6 out of 6 shots along with 6 rebounds, including offensive ones. However, apart from that, the bench performance was disappointing. Most smoothie going on. Another unsatisfactory performance, missing 5 shots and falling to make 4-point attempts in 16 minutes, totaling only 3 points. Spencer, who generated expectations in the city after the first game, had a performance below expectations tonight. A foul score, the lowest rating on the with a -20 ing, 1 out of 2 shots. The inefficiency is hard to overlook. It's clear that in the game, but Jonathan Kuminga needs to stand out the game when the series moves to on Saturdays for any chance of success. He still needs to improve his decisions under pressure, especially against collapsing defense. However, one of the kit was from tonight is that Jonathan Kuminga of the coach's confidence, and this is just the fight. The coach has no choice. Batten. Kuminga has the potential to be G in these series. If his confidence is in the right place and his mindset is positive, especially with Step's absence. The games at Chaz returning home, where the crowd will be a crucial factor. They will need significant contributions from like witness tonight to energize the fans and give the Warriors a glimmer of victory. There are more serious issues involving one player, as already mentioned in a previous video, but we saw the player get injured. The performances tonight from a young Gaslit were pivotal in engaging the fans and offering the Warriors a glimpse of victory. However, there are irrelevant is another player. Even mentioned this in a previous video, but it's clear that it is dealing with difficulties to an injury. Looking at his shooting stats, it's evident that struggling with free throws, likely hesitation in supporting his weight on the injured area. Earlier he mentioned how he got hit in a game against an opponent, and it seems his recovery as fully materialized as sprained his ankle again shortly after. With him not performing at his best, the Warriors have the opportunity to stay competitive in these series while somewhat limited. The young ASL seems to be gunning self-confidence and showing that it can deliver results in crucial moments, which might help the oldest on until an essential player returns. This is undoubtedly a for the future. However, Tonic's performance was far from ideal. I'm trying to find some positives, and his evolution is one of them. Something we have been waiting for a long time. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you can stand out in the next game? Is there a chance to repeat this performance? I'm looking forward to hearing your reflections. Tomorrow we have another opportunity to connect. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't to miss exclusive talks updates. Let's keep going. There has been widespread speculation in the basketball world following reports of the BAS confirmation of the cancellation of the second game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. The matchup, which was anticipated to be a thrilling contest between two teams in the hand for postseason positioning, was sending ripple stroke bots and sports commentators sources within the league st that logistical and unforeseen circumstances led to the decision. While the specifics remain undisclosed, insiders suggest that precautions with scheduling coupled with potential and safety protocols were the factors paying the unexpected development. This situation has left fans questioning the state of the current integrity and whether such cancellations called become a more common occurrence. The Timberwolves, who have shown significant growth under COR, were set to face the Warriors at a history of championship pedigree by superstar guard. Both teams had a lot to prove in this game, with the Timberwolves looking to further establish themselves as a playoff contender and the Warriors hoping to continue resurgence.